Students, in my earlier class, I have discussed the ideal binary solution, and I have also discussed different thermodynamic characteristics of an ideal solution. Today we will discuss the total vapor pressure of an ideal binary liquid system. We will also discuss the composition of vapor phase and the application of phase rule in an ideal binary liquid system. Now, in an ideal binary system, both the constituents follow Raoult's law over the entire range of composition. Okay? Now, if we consider an ideal binary liquid system of A and B, so A and B are the constituents. Here, A is more volatile than B. Okay? Now, both the constituents will follow the Raoult's law. That is, the partial pressure of the constituents, partial vapor pressure of the constituents over the solution is equal to the mole fraction of the constituent multiplied in the liquid solution multiplied by the vapor pressure of the pure constituent. So, we can write PA equals to XA into P star, PB equals to XB into PB star, where PA and PB are the partial pressures exerted by vapors of A and B respectively. P star and PB star are the respective vapor pressures of the pure constituents. XA and XB are the mole fractions of A and B respectively in the solution. So the total vapor pressure of the solution will be P equals to PA plus PB. Okay? So if we put the value of PA here, this is X into P star, and also the PB, this is equals to XB plus XB into PB star, then we will get XA P star plus 1 minus XA into PB star, because we can write XB equals to 1 minus XA because XA plus XB equals to 1. Okay? So we get, after simplification we get PB star equals to P star minus PB star into XA. Hence the total vapor pressure over the solution is a linear function of XA with intercept PB star and slope equal to P star minus PB star. So this is the equation of a straight line equation of a straight line, where the slope is equals to PA minus P star minus PB star and intercept equals to PB star. Now, if we plot PA, PB and P against the mole fraction of XA or XB in the liquid solution, where XA and XB are the mole fraction of A and B in the liquid solution, we can say that the slope PA minus PB star may be positive or negative depending upon the relative magnitudes of PA star and PB star. If PA is more volatile than B, then PA star is greater than PB star, then the slope PA star minus PB star is positive. So here, since A is more volatile than B, so PA star is greater than PB star, so the slope is positive. Now the total vapor pressure increases with the increase in the mole fraction XA of the more volatile constituent. So, as we increase the mole fraction of the more volatile constituent XA, then the total vapor pressure increases. Here XA equals to 1, this is the pure constituent A, so vapor pressure will be P star. Here XA equals to 0, there is a pure constituent B is there, therefore the vapor pressure will be PV star. Now if P star is less than PV star, if B is more volatile than A, the slope is negative. The vapor pressure decreases with increase in the mole fraction of XB, the less volatile constituent. So the vapor pressure decreases with increase in the mole fraction XB, which is the less volatile constituent. So this is the curve for PA, PB and total vapor pressure. This is the total vapor pressure curve. The red one is the vapor pressure curve for the A, and the green one is the vapor pressure curve for B. Now we will discuss the composition of vapor phase. Now, to discuss the composition of vapor phase, now we can determine the composition of vapor phase with the help of Dalton's law of partial pressure. So we will use the Dalton's law of partial pressure here to determine the composition of the vapor phase. Now if Ya be the mole fraction of A in the vapor phase, then Ya equals to Pa by P, the partial pressure of A by the total pressure. This is Dalton's law of partial pressure. So if we put the value of Pa here, so this is equals to Xa into P star, and we put the value of P here, this is equal to Pv star plus Pa minus Pv star into Xa. This is the equation number 1. And if Y be the mole fraction of B in the vapor phase, then Yb equals to Pb by P, the partial pressure of B by total pressure. So this must be equals to 1 minus Ya, because Ya plus Yb should be equals to 1. Okay? So if we put the value of, so it of Ya, we will get like this, 1 minus Xa into P star divided by Pb star plus within bracket Pa minus Pb star into Xa. So after simplification, we get Yb, this is equals to Yb, this is equals to Yb, this is equals to P star Xb divided by P star within bracket Pb star minus P star into Xb. This is equation number 2. Now in order to express the total vapor pressure in terms of the composition of the vapor phase, we rearrange the equation 1. So in order to express the total vapor pressure in terms of the composition of the vapor phase, we rearrange equation 1. How? Now XaPa equals to Xa into Pa equals to Pb star plus into Ya plus within bracket P star minus Pb star into Xa into Ya. So after simplification, we get Xa equals to Pb star into Ya divided by P star plus Pb star minus P star into Ya. So after simplification, we get the value of Xa, this is equals to this much. Equation number 3. Now the total pressure P equals to Pb star plus P star minus Pb star into Xa. Now we are putting the value of Xa from equation 3 in this equation. So we get the value of P after simplification. We get the value of P, which is equals to Pb star into P star divided by P star within bracket Pb star minus P star into Ya. So you go through this simplification and you will get this value P, this equals to Pb star into P star divided by P star plus Pb star minus P star into Ya. This is equation number 4. Now from this equation, if we plot P against Ya, then we will get a curve like this. So if we plot Ya against P, total pressure P, then we will get a curve like this. This is not a linear curve. This is not a linear curve. Now this equation 4 can also be written in a linear form as follows. If we take the reciprocal of this, 1 upon P, this is equals to P star plus within bracket Pb star minus P star into Ya divided by Pb star into P star. So this is equals to 1 upon Pb star within bracket 1 upon P star minus 1 upon Pb star into Ya. So if we plot here 1 upon P against Ya, then we get a straight line like this. So this is the intercept and this is the slope. Slope equals to 1 upon P star minus 1 upon Pb star. Okay. Now we will discuss the phase rule to a binary liquid system. Now we know phase rule, this is the degrees of freedom equals to C minus P plus 2, where C is the component and P is the number of phases and 2 is the additional 2 factors for the temperature and pressure. So degrees of freedom F equals to number of components minus number of phases plus 2 additional factors for the temperature and pressure. Now since the number of components in a binary mixture is 2, number of components in a binary mixture is 2 because here we have taken two constituents A and B, therefore C is equal to 2. We therefore have F equals to 2 minus P plus 2, this is equal to 4 minus P. Okay? Now if the system has only one phase, that is liquid or vapor, gaseous, then F equals to degrees of freedom becomes equals to 3, because here P equals to 1, only one phase, the liquid or vapor, that it is a trivariant system. It is a trivariant, which means that the values of three variables need to be stated to define the system completely. That is, we require to state three variables to define the system completely. Now these variables, what are these variables? These variables are temperature, pressure and composition. So we need three variables, temperature, pressure and composition, to define the system completely. Now if one of these three variables is held constant, then the values of other two variables to be stated in order to describe the system completely. So out of these three variables, if one is held constant, then we have to state other two remaining variables to define the system completely. For example, if temperature is held constant, then pressure and composition will have to be stated to define such system completely. If the temperature is held constant, then the pressure and composition will have to be stated to define such a system completely. Now, a point on the plot of pressure versus composition curve at a given temperature represents such a system. So, a point on the plot of pressure versus composition curve at a given temperature represents such a system. Let us look at the plot of total vapor pressure. Let us take a look at the total vapor pressure of a binary liquid mixture against the mole fraction of the constituents A or constituent B in the liquid phase. So this is the curve. This is the curve. Okay. Total vapor pressure is plotted against XA or XB. Okay. Now, since the total vapor pressure is an equilibrium vapor pressure, it is obvious that the system would consist of only liquid phase if it is subjected to a pressure greater than the equilibrium vapor pressure. So if the superincumbent at a particular composition, if the superincumbent pressure becomes greater than that of the total vapor pressure, then it will have only the liquid phase. Okay? So what we have said, that the since the total vapor pressure is an equilibrium vapor pressure, it is obvious that the system would consist of only liquid phase if it is subject to a pressure greater than the equilibrium vapor pressure. Here temperature is constant. Now at a particular composition, if the superincumbent pressure is greater than the equilibrium pressure at this composition, if it is greater than the equilibrium pressure, then we will get only the liquid phase. Okay? A point anywhere above the total vapor pressure line in this plot represent the system in the liquid phase. So any point above this equilibrium vapor pressure line represents the liquid phase only. Okay. Similarly, a point anywhere below the total vapor composition line plot represents the system in vapor phase. So if we take this, any point below the total vapor pressure line of this plot, any point below this total vapor pressure line of the plot represents the system in vapor phase. So this is in the vapor phase. Okay, and this is in the liquid phase. When we are plotting total pressure against XA and when we are plotting total pressure against YA, then this any point beyond this line will represent the vapor phase, and here any point above this line will represent the liquid phase. Okay? Now, a system in which two phases in equilibrium, that is liquid in equilibrium with vapor, then F equals to C minus P plus 2. That is 2 minus 2 plus 2, this is 2. The system becomes bivariant. Which means that only two variables will have to be stated for describing the system completely. Among the three variables, the temperature, pressure and composition, if two are stated, then the third one will automatically be fixed. So if two are stated, then the third one will be automatically fixed. Now if temperature and composition are stated, then the vapor pressure of the system will have a definite value. I think you could understand. Of the three components, if two are fixed, of the three variables, if two are fixed, then the third one will be automatically fixed. Now the straight line plot in 1 and the curved line plot in 2 represent straight line plot in 1 and the curved line plot in 2 represents two phases, liquid and vapor in equilibrium with each other. So it represents the liquid and vapor in equilibrium with each other. This also represents the liquid and vapor in equilibrium with each other. Okay. Now, if we plot in a single diagram the variation of total vapor pressure against XA, that is the composition, mole fraction of A in the liquid state, or YA, and YA, the composition of A in the vapor phase, then we get a curve like this. We get a plot like this. So this is the straight line, this is the red one and this green one. So when this figure shows when liquid and vapors are in one diagram. Okay. Now this upper curve, the red one, is called the liquidus curve because it represents the line above which only liquid phase exists. A point anywhere on this curve represents two phases, liquid and vapor in equilibrium. Now the lower curve is known as the vaporous curve. Vaporous curve. Okay. The lower curve is known as the vaporous curve. Any point below this curve represents vapor state. Now along this line also two phases, vapor and liquid in equilibrium with each other. Now a point anywhere in the region between these two curves represents the system where liquid and vapor, a point anywhere in the region between these two curves represents the system where liquid and vapor both coexist in equilibrium. It is known as liquid vapor region. Okay. Now, for any given composition, the points on the liquidus and vaporous curve represent respectively the maximum and the minimum pressures within which the two phases can exist in equilibrium with each other. You just see, for any given composition, okay, let this is the composition. So there is a maximum pressure, this is P max, above which we get only the liquid phase. And there is a minimum pressure, okay, for a particular composition, below which we get the vapor phase, okay. Now, if pressure of the system is greater than P max, only liquid phase exists. If the pressure of the system is greater than P max, only liquid phase we obtained. Now if the pressure of the system is less than P minimum, we get the vapor phase. Now if the pressure of the system is greater than P minimum but less than P maximum, it is greater than P minimum but less than P maximum, then we get both liquid and vapor phases in equilibrium with each other. So this is the application of phase rule in an ideal binary solution. Thank you.